Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. So, I've been thinking about sort of how our customs union is going to be structured, how our block is going to be structured, and I think I want to release Louisiana as its own, as a subject territory. And I'm not going to make the same mistake I made last time, which means I'm going to build up some government admin and railways first. I also realized that my Arizona is a little bit light on infrastructure, so I'm going to subsidize the railway there. Louisiana should also have some universities, and that will be just fine. Maybe a couple of construction sectors just to make sure they keep going properly. In fact, I will throw those in at the top because those get built really fast, and that'll make me build faster, which will be nice. I've suddenly got a shortage of bureaucracy, but that's not such a bad situation to have to deal with. Let's go ahead and throw... Let me see, where's DC in terms of employment for these government admins? They're still working. Alright, so they'll continue to increase in employment. I do want to build a whole bunch of power block statues, and I will do that eventually. Finances are looking rock solid. I'm building a bunch of stuff, and I'm still in good stead financially, so I'm feeling pretty rad about that. I also notice that... Oh, I haven't gotten the ticking... I haven't gotten the ticking thing because I haven't annexed them yet. Never mind. Alright, so I'm going to start... Let me see. Do I have the ability to... If I were to change the governments of these places, what would I change? Maybe tenant farmers? Well, they got the military in charge. Maybe flip over to public schools. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm thinking about the possibility of turning all these... Okay, so for San Salvador, I can make them go to universal suffrage. And I think I'm going to do that. Put someone in charge who supports it, sir. For IT, they're also an oligarchy. I'm going to do the same for them. Alright, so they're doing it. So San Salvador, who did you put in? You put nobody in. 10% chance. Okay, interesting. IT, I'm going to have you do the same because I want y'all to have the vote. Cuba, what about you? IT defers enacting. Alright. So, with Cuba, because they're my colony, I have the ability to... Colony, quote-unquote. I have the ability to change up all of these. Do I have the ability to flip them over to the other track? I don't think I do. Let me see. So, can I get you to universal suffrage? Does anyone want universal suffrage? Your rural folks sure would. So you go there as well. Slowly, we're going to bring democracy. So what I really want to do... I think it would be probably useful in the long term to form Central America. But I also don't want them to get Panama, because then they might sell the chunk of Panama that I'm going to want to build a canal on. I don't know why I'm looking at Peru, Bolivia like they're my subject. Excellent. Cuba's hard at work on that. They have not changed up the structure of the government. 23% chance, that's not bad at all. It looks like Britain is fighting a radical revolt in the Netherlands. Am I involved in this? I'm not. Because I haven't enacted the necessary interests. Or enacted. Because I haven't declared the necessary interests, which I could. So let's go ahead and do that. I got a lot of interests available. So let's declare some interests in Europe. A few in Africa. And maybe we'll do one in Southeast Asia. And... stick around in Europe for the others. That'll be fine. So that'll get us a little bit more involved in world affairs. Now, how's the market? Glass is still extremely expensive in the market. Porcelain is still moderately expensive in the market. Most of that is being sold abroad, which is exactly what we would expect. So, let's increase the size of some of our glassworks. We for sure need more glass. We also need more steel. Am I right? Yes, we need more steel. So basically, this is our set point in terms of how much we're spending. At this point, I'm comfortable going back to continuously constructing. So at this stage, I'm going to increase output of all of these resources to the point where where these are affordable. So for glassworks, I'm going to need about a 60% increase in output. So we'll throw Massachusetts in. No, 2 more in Massachusetts, 2 more in Rhode Island, 2 more in Maryland, and I think a couple more in Iowa, a couple more in Illinois. We'll keep them spread out. Let me see. Is that the amount that I need? So that's going to be about a 50% increase. I'm going to need a few more. So I'll start a new glassworks, I think, in... No. I need a steel mill in Michigan. So we'll build up the ones in Pennsylvania and Ohio. And that'll be just fine. That'll be plenty of glassworks. Now for steel, I'm going to need about a 50% increase as well. And I think the way I want to go about it is I want to build ones up in Michigan, because Michigan's where my engines industries are, and there are my motor industries are going to be, and there are iron mines in Michigan. So we're going to build up 10 levels of steel mills in Michigan. We're going to build up the motor industries by 2 levels, and then we're going to build up some iron mines just to accommodate that. Now, back to Louisiana. Why am I releasing Louisiana? It's because if I release Louisiana... So I could theoretically release New Africa. But New Africa would have this whole area. And I don't necessarily want another giant puppet. Releasing Louisiana... this is part of my core territory. If I release Louisiana, those folks will be able to be just fine. And here's the thing. The Afro-Americans living in these territories are at cultural erasure, I believe. They're at level 3, they're at open discrimination. And 3 is where you need to be. Hold on. Why are they not at second-class citizenship? Oh, because we're still at racial segregation. That's what happened. So we need to go to cultural exclusion. It's going to make the American supremacist movement salty. I don't think that's going to be a problem for me. So we'll get started on that. But what that's going to do for us is that's going to make our... that's going to make these people go into second-class citizenship, and that's going to make it possible for them to move to Louisiana, which they can't currently because I enacted migration controls. So this is probably going to take a little bit of a struggle, but it is what it is. And then they can live there and not be discriminated, and that won't be a problem. So that's the goal. That's the idea. That's what we're doing it for. And again, I just think it's sensible to have places that all of the peoples that live in my whole vast region of the world can live without being discriminated. So let's take a look at some domestic policy in my various places. Colombia, you would certainly be better served by universal suffrage, but I don't know if you can get there. Venezuela, you're fine. You're at census. That shouldn't be too much of a problem. So, how much longer do we have a truce with Los Altos? 3 years. April of 67. So that's fine. And we do have a truce with Mexico, do we not? We do not, actually. So, hypothetically... I'm getting dollar signs in my eyes once again. Hypothetically, if I just force them to give up investment rights, that would speed their entry into my into my market, and into my customs union, and into my vast supranational political structure. The minor interests. Regardless of the governing caucus's stance, the fiercest debates on cultural exclusion come from these two: the yeoman farmers and populists served by Joshua Norton's movement. So that's Emperor Norton. He's an enlightened royalist, head of the petite bourgeoisie, who declares himself the rightful king of America. Once in a blue moon, the government sees an issue to appease an ally or placate an enemy. Invariably, it crosses someone else's line. Some might call enemy of my enemy and expect an alliance of convenience. Others, often rightly, expect a velveteen fist. Let them bicker. 33% chance of Norton getting stronger. So that's the petit bourgeois. And the yeoman farmer's mad. 33% chance of the other. And then 1/3 chance of just lower stardom pops getting more radical. Take advantage of populist pressure. Yeoman farmers get weaker and much angrier, and we increase the radicalism, the activism and popularity of Joshua Norton. Or back the yeoman farmers, yada da da, go the other way. Okay, so Norton, what movement are you part of? You are part of the reactionary movement. So I don't necessarily want to make them more active, because they're kind of a pain. So I will back... If I back the yeoman farmer... Wait a minute. These are the same thing. Yes, if I back the yeoman farmers, they get stronger, they also get happier. Joshua Norton loses political movement activism. Alright, I'm going to do the third one. So that doesn't get us anywhere in terms of passing the law, but it is what it is. Alright, I think I'm going to put some of these iron mines further at the top of the thing I'm doing here, just because I think that's sensible. We'll do a few glassworks at a time trying to get these done. But having iron mines already running when you're building steel mills is the right call. I built up Louisiana, so I think now I'm going to release them. Release as subject country. And we will reduce subject payments. And I can't offer them knowledge sharing because they're the same text as I am. Alright, beautiful. So I am probably going to do knowledge sharing as we go along here. Speaking of which, though, now that I'm thinking on it, I actually have not teched up to my limit right now. So I think we're going to build some more universities. Probably, I'll do it from this interface here. Probably we'll build them kind of all across the territory, anywhere we don't have one. Ooh. This is an infrastructure shortage in DC. Alright, so. Bam, bam. Thank you, ma'am. And this is just something that I think is a sensible way of going about university placement, because you want to have qualifications wherever you're going to build up. Is it too on the nose if I literally create a flyover country policy? I think it is. We'll definitely build up these ones as well. I don't know if that's the right call, but it feels like the right call. Alright, so Arizona, why are you still short on infrastructure? Do you not have enough? The railways? Ooh, early success. Excellent. That's curious. That's quite curious. And then DC, you've got yourself a shortage of railways because you don't have any railways. Well, that does make sense, I suppose. No wonder standards of living are terrible in DC. Something, American politics. I am very smart. Get that going there. Now, I am going to want to take over... Now, Chile is in the bloc, right? Yes. So other countries I would like. I would like Brazil. I would like Argentina. I would like Peru, Bolivia. Uruguay is a good target. So we'll start improving relations there. We'll start... I'm already improving relations with Peru, Bolivia. How's that going? Pretty okay. Now, Brazil. Can I get investment rights? How's Brazil feeling? They're feeling cautious. Alright, okay. Funding lobbies would be expensive for Brazil. I think I'll leave that until a little later. We'll kind of see how things go. Now, what about Peru, Bolivia? You're also cautious, but we only just started improving relations. Sick leave. A lengthy speech by Joshua Norton took a wild turn after consuming a tainted drink. With his incapacitation, the government has lost one of its most effective advocates for cultural exclusion. A page was dispatched shortly after the speech began, and he arrived with a sandwich and the fateful drink. Everyone in the audience could see the long-winded speech had become a battle to put down a revolting stomach. Indeed, had the speech stopped, the speaker's dignity would have ended with it. Had it not stopped then, people might have demanded an assassin's head. Wish him a speedy recovery, reduced enactment chance. 2% petit bourgeois, more loyal. Joshua Norton gets food poisoning episode, reduced interest group attraction. Or scour the vicinity for any assassins on the double, minus 7% enactment chance. He gets wounded and an increase in popularity. Wounded is reduced character health. I'm going to do the second one. I don't necessarily want a monarchist around doing stuff. Beautiful. Another mandate available. If I pull the yeoman farmers into the government, will they help me do this? Not really. It's only the intelligentsia that really prefer... Yeah, it's the intelligentsia I'm relying on here. Oh, City of Plenty. The most prominent members of New York high society have been seen organizing luxurious parties in the new and lavish urban buildings. We've seen this event before. This is the one where I can get 10% loyalists in the upper and middle strata, or 25% if I bet that I can keep standard of living for the upper stratum high. So, standard of living for the upper stratum in New York is 36 against a minimum expected of secure. If it's definitely worth the bet, the party will never end, the second option. So, I've got a mandate available. I could go to Ideological Truth 3. I think that... I don't know how useful that is. Let's go ahead and add market... where is it? Market unification. It's right here. Let's go ahead and add market unification. And then eventually we'll be able to have our power block be a market, and that'll be nice. Cuba, why are you defiant? Why are you so defiant? Because I'm infamous. Well, I mean, that makes sense, I suppose. What do you need? How are you doing? Ooh, they're in voting. Excellent. I'm very pleased with that. We'll put together an investment package. The lower strata are very unhappy. We'll provide additional jobs. Logging, fishing, and industry. Steel mills, tooling workshops, textile mills. That's excellent. And we can't forget the other state in Cuba, Puerto Rico. Actually, no, I can't put more plantations. I need at least one farm here. All my territories need farms. I don't want to put myself in a situation where I'm courting starvation. Media endorsements. The Voice of Edmonton, a popular newspaper read by the intelligentsia class across the United States of America, has published an article by Joshua Norton advocating for the enactment of cultural exclusion. Putting out a newspaper without promotion is like winking at a girl in the dark. Well-intentioned, but ineffective. Were a way to counteract the voice of the people? 10% success chance, reduced enactment time, or offer our thanks to the publisher. This costs money and makes the intelligentsia stronger. I'm going to do the first one. That's going to give me a nice, sweet, bring me up to 18% enactment success chance, which I'm very pleased with. And that will be nice. I'm going to put the big university expansion after the investment package for Cuba. Alright. Relations are improving with Mexico. I may force them into a protectorate-ship, but we'll see. I've casually drifted back up to rank 2. Oh, Army of Observation needs a leader. Let me see. Let's go with... Oh, William Tecumseh Sherman. He's a petit bourgeois guy. He's very good. I don't necessarily want to increase the strength of petit bourgeois right now. Mark Richardson is a wrathful mountain combat expert, authoritarian. These two are both authoritarians. All right, Sherman it is. And then we've got a 5th American Army somehow. Which can go. And we got ourselves an event. The Crusade for Change. The ongoing effort to implement cultural exclusion has captured the imagination of the Republican Party, which has added full-throated support of the new law as part of its central platform. The country yearns for change. For too long, we have watched the nation suffer. Is it not right to call for upheaval? Is it not right to call for the changes that are long overdue? I tell you, we must embrace the future. They're the champions of change, 10% momentum, or the people speak and we shall listen. Which is 20% enactment chance. I'm going to go with the second one. I don't need any more momentum for the Republicans, but having extra enactment chance for this brings us up to 38, and that's very, very good. Compromising the people. No! Representatives of the industrialists and the government have demanded several compromises in the enactment of cultural exclusion. These measures have already been condemned by supporters of Joshua Norton as corrosive to the reform as a whole. The word of a mob in the street will not change the nature of the national interest. We have chosen to stand by our principles and avert this government from making a terrible mistake. That is all, and that is all there will ever be. The support of the industrialists is not worth the damage done. Increased enactment time, Joshua Norton becomes more popular. Or Norton will complain, but we will act. One setback, 10% enactment chance. Afro-American national movement increases in movement activism. I'm going to do the first one. I don't want to take a setback on this. All it is enactment time, slower enactment, not increased stall chance, which is something I would... It's not reduced enactment chance, which is the thing I need to avoid when doing something like this. And there's rubber mastication. That doesn't matter to us that much, although it will eventually once we move our way south. Interesting. French Republic and the British Republic are they've split Guyana. The French have gotten the formerly Dutch section of Guyana, which is very, very interesting. Am I already improving relations with Argentina? I'm not. We're always looking for ways to get more countries into the customs union. I may just subjugate Uruguay. We'll see. We'll see. I did a lot of stuff by subjugation before. We're still only the number 3 power block. But we're not too far from being second. Backroom dealings exposed. Gosh, I despise this event. Prominent members of the intelligentsia, outspoken supporters of cultural exclusion, and close allies of Absalom French, who is the leader of the intelligentsia, have been exposed in a corruption scandal, having exchanged political favors for personal gifts. One aide was all it took, one boy squeezing acne from his face in the right place at the right time, to overhear the howling laughter, smell the rich tobacco blend, and spot Absalom French's new golden cufflinks. One honest fellow's word to the right ears, and it was all uncovered. So, such is the nature of politics. Significantly reduced enactment chance, 15%. Absalom French gets a huge penalty to popularity. Throw them to the wolves. We must clean up this mess. Minus 10% enactment chance instead and reduce bureaucracy. Or we can derive some benefit by participating ourselves. One setback, reduced enactment time. I'm going to throw them to the wolves. I think that's fine. We're at 28%. That's still pretty alright. We're going to need to build up some more government admin to compensate for that. How's DC doing? Infrastructure's still low. Because the railway is not subsidized. Hold on. I should be subsidizing railways across the board. There we go. So let's build up California. We can use a little bit more government in California, wouldn't you say? So there's the election. Republican Party gets 99% of the vote, or 95% of the vote. Free Trade Party gets the other 4%. So the politics basically stay the same. Still, yeoman farmers are still pretty weak, which is just fine with me. Portugal has a Macua uprising. That doesn't concern us. Yeah, we're starting to get involved in interests across the sea, overseas, which I'm mostly going to not get involved in, unless it seems like there's a general European war kicking off at some point, and I have a chance to help secure American interests by doing something like seizing Guyana or these other territories. Feminism unlocked. Excellent. So that's very good. So now Susan Anthony should start a feminist movement any minute now. Unless we need political agitation for that, but I don't think we would. Defensive pact with Brazil. You know what? That would be fine with me. I would be delighted to have a defensive pact with Brazil. And you know what I would like even more? To be able to invest in you. Excellent. And to have an embassy for my power block in your country. Hey, law progressed to voting. Wonderful. Power block embassy accepted. Excellent. So, soon Brazil will be in my market, and that will be very, very good. Alright, so, what's my projected leverage looking like? Projected leverage is looking substantial. 389 unclaimed leverage. So how can I support that? First, what does your market need? Your market needs a lot of things. But mostly it needs grain. Gosh, and also golly. Brazil, what are you doing? Oh, you've got an infrastructure shortage problem. That's what's going on over here. All right, so let's take a quick gander. I think building a railway in Amazonas may be a terrible idea. Mato Grosso sure needs one. Good. Santa Catarina definitely needs one. Minas Gerais needs one. Rio de Janeiro needs one. Bahia needs one. Oh my gosh. You're down bad for railways, Brazil, I gotta say. Not as an insult, of course, just things are looking pretty difficult. And then we'll put one in Amazonas all the way at the end. Building up Brazil is going to be a long project, but it's necessary. So these steel mills should be increasing the throughput. There we go. There's our feminist movement. So that should reduce the strength of the reactionary movement, and it does appear to be doing so already, which is very good. So Susan Anthony and Joshua Norton are both part of the feminist movement. That's wonderful. Emperor Norton supporting feminism based. Law debate success. 10% enactment chance. Excellent. The petit bourgeois are these interesting wild cards. It's a special thing for India. They introduced the modernizer ideology, and I think the modernizer ideology might make sense for petit bourgeois of all stripes, but I'm not sure. You know, I think the way they currently act captures sort of late game petit bourgeois sensibilities, but I wonder if it wouldn't be more sensible for the middle and early game for them to be more oriented towards, you know, going to things like interventionism and whatnot. Gabon, which is India sides. Well, look at this. What is going on here? Great Britain is going after the Netherlands to get a bunch of things. So the Netherlands would certainly accept our support. So this is an interesting situation because we have the option of trying to grab Guyana. It would be cool if I could get Guyana. That would be nice. Ooh, gold in South Dakota. Wonderful. I'm actually watching Deadwood, so that's a similar thing. Backroom deals. On the fence with the issue, the yeoman farmers' views on cultural exclusion changed overnight. Otis Glazier names Joshua Norton as the architect of a hidden deal. Backroom deals were all too common. Fundraising for this project, contracts to friends of friends, a special advisory committee on that endeavor. It's all the same, really. Grease the wheels of imperium so that it all runs a bit smoother. Sometimes, however, one gets the idea to profit from the greased wheels, and then the public catches on. After that, nobody gets what they want. Send word to the presses, tear the corruption out, roots, stem and root, reduce enactment chance, armed forces weaker. Stay focused on the law. Joshua Norton loses some popularity and interest group attraction, slightly reduce enactment chance. Or corruption is a tool like any other, reduce authority, reduce enactment time, one setback. I'm going to stay focused on the law. This is going to cost us a little bit of enactment chance, but it's not going to be too big of a deal. So, British Republic will not accept our help. If we support the Netherlands, what can we get? We can get a Conquer CB. Let me see. Can I get British Guyana? Hold on. This is British Guyana, right? Yeah. Where's Guyana? Why don't you give me Guyana? Am I terrible at this? I think I might be terrible at this. This is owned by British Republic directly, right? Yeah, it is. So why? This is all this territory in Britain. Bahamas, Bermuda. And then all of this is territory held by countries other than Britain itself. That's weird. South Atlantic Islands. Like, could I get... So, like, the Bahamas and Bermuda, that makes sense, so they won't let me have those. Okay. Well, I guess we'll stay out of it for the moment. Prussia sides with the Netherlands. Well. Britain. What if you gave me... South Cameroon or Gabon, but I don't want any of those. Britain, I don't want territory in Africa. I want territory where you are, where I am, really. What a pain. All right, Britain has a sway. What do you give me? Regime change in Yogyakarta. What could I possibly do with regime change in Yogyakarta, Great Britain? Gorsh, Shaggy, you got to think about this kind of thing. You got to think through it. That said, we're just getting started in our investment plan in Cuba. How's the market doing? We've brought down the price of glass significantly. We brought down the price of steel significantly. Price of lead is increasing. I think the private sector can handle that pretty well. Price of steel is way down. We really knocked that one out of the park. I'm going to put a few more lead mines into construction. Just to get those done. We've got we'll put 4 levels each in Illinois and Ohio. That'll increase output by quite a bit. And we'll go up to a nice even 20. I'm going to throw these in... where am I going to put them? I'm going to put them in after the resource industries in Cuba, but before the heavy industry. And that'll be that. So, with that having said, that's all the time we've got for this episode, my nerds. I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you on the other side.